Vancouver Island. Situated on the west coast of Canada, its average annual precipitation varies wildly, from 665 centimeters a year on the west coast to as little as 60 centimeters in Victoria's Gonzales. But it's also home to thousands of amazing musicians. In this series, I'll introduce you to a few of them. Hi, I'm John. Welcome to Edgetone Studios. Today in the studio I have the Ranters. Welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what your role in the band is?
Okay, I'm Jillian, and my role in the band is auto harp. I have two auto harps. One is chromatic and one is diatonic. And I also play mandolin. I've taken that up recently for the band.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. And
vocals.
Oh, and vocals, of course.
Rockland here. I'm the guitarist, the mandolaist. I play harmonica and I also do vocals.
Multi-instrumentalist, both of you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what type of music do you guys play?
Kind of an Appalachian folk roots.
Americana.
Americana is a good term. We take a lot of old tunes from the 60s and sort of Americana them up.
Right. And by old
Ranter
tunes...
them up.
Yeah.
What style of tunes from the 60s?
Rock and roll tunes. Not necessarily rock and roll tunes, but what you used to hear on the radio and
Right. Popular music of the 60s as opposed to folk of the 60s. Okay, interesting. So how long have you two been playing together?
Oh, well, I bought my auto harp in 2016, so it was after that. We sort of really got going probably just before COVID.
Yes. We started working on it, and we actually were lining up some gigs.
Yeah, right.
And then the dreaded...
The COVID hit.
The lockdown came.
Yep.
And our lives stopped.
Well, ours didn't. We decided to...
Things stopped.
We decided to record a CD. This is a perfect time. Everything's shut down. We're not doing anything. Let's record a CD.
What's your CD called? It's right here.
Rant on Children.
Yeah, looks like you got 10 songs on there. Originals, mix?
All originals except for one traditional, In the Pines.
Right. That's awesome. Okay, so is it always just the two of you then?
Not always. Mainly on the island it is the two of us, but when we go over to the mainland, which we do a lot, we pick up our bass player, Freddie Weber, and he does all our jobs, and we do it as a trio.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, the Ranters are a trio when we're on the mainland.
So you're a dual personality.
We are.
Duo on the island, trio on the mainland.
Yeah. Freddie has been with us a long time, been with me a long time. I did my first professional gig in 1968, and it was with Freddie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. So what song are you going to play for us first, and what is it about?
Okay, so this is an original song, and it's called Who Will Plant the Garden? It is a story about who will plant the garden when I'm gone. It was kind of directed towards the grandchildren.
Right.
To get them involved in gardening and seed collecting, etc., just nature in general. The song was triggered by Rockland because I was planting parsnip seeds, and he was teaching me how to properly plant parsnip seeds, and I looked up at him and said, "Why are you telling me all of this?" And he said, "Who is going to do this when I'm gone?" And so that was the
line.
Not that I'm going anywhere.
Yep.
Anywhere anytime
No,
soon.
No, but it planted the seed in your mind for a song, and then that's where it came from. So did the kids pick up on it then?
They love the song.
No, and do they love gardening though?
Oh yes, yes they do.
Awesome.
They take me for tours of the garden.
So it had a twofold effect. It achieved what you thought of and got you a song out of it. So let's have a listen to that now.
shovels and sand, a lovely garden I had planned, waiting for the warmth of spring to arrive. Honeybees work to fill the hive, and the sun will rise to greet the land. Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? Lilacs and daffs and rosemary trees, the beauties of summer there for you and me. Red-winged blackbirds, ravens too, strawberry fields in the month of June. The seasons of life go round. Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? Sky at night, the mariner's delight. Let us dance for the rain. Come what may, we revere the day and breathe in the blue moonlight. Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. Who will plant the garden when I'm gone? Yeah, when I'm gone. Oh, when I'm gone.
And what part of Vancouver Island are you guys from?
Shawnigan Lake, and we love it there.
Yeah.
Just love Shawnigan Lake. It's a beautiful lake.
Yeah.
The South Island is an amazing place.
And so for those watching, Shawnigan Lake is south of Duncan, where I am.
40 minutes to the big city, Victoria.
Yeah, it's nice to be close to Victoria.
That's funny because I say it's 45 minutes from here.
Oh.
But it's
Maybe when you moved here, not any longer with the traffic.
So how long have you lived on the island?
What? We've been here
2007.
17 years,
Yeah.
going on 18.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what would you say is your favorite thing about living on the island?
Oh,
And there can be multiple.
it is multiple.
It is. And it's a lot of what's not here.
Right.
It's the perk. You know, the traffic isn't anywhere like the mainland.
Right.
It's quieter.
It's quieter.
It's quiet. I like.
We have
quiet.
no street lights on our road.
Right.
We love that.
You can see the stars at night.
We can.
Yeah.
And I love the Kinsel Trestle and the beaches, the hikes, and the ocean.
Right.
Island living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the features that we get to enjoy on a daily basis, except for when it's crappy weather out and we don't feel like going out. So.
Yeah, we could do worse for weather. It's
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be
bad.
snowing.
Yeah, and it may be, but it won't last. You know,
No.
that's the way it'll be here. Who would you say are your biggest influences for the music you're doing?
Oh, goodness. Well, for the auto harp, when I first bought my auto harp, I went to Seattle and took some instructions from four really great auto harp players. So Brian Bowers has been a great influence. One of my first lessons was from him, and he's quite well known in the auto harp world.
Cool.
I like to play songs from Ola Belle Reed, and
Explain who they are.
oh
Well,
yes, Ola
For
Belle.
those who don't know.
Well, she was from the Appalachian area, and she wrote some very, very sad songs of sorrow, I guess, from that area in her environment. And she made a comeback during the 60s folk revival with her husband and son, I believe. They started a band and were wanted for dances and festivals and such. So, yeah, Brian Bowers got me turned on to Ola Belle Reed when we saw him in concert.
So was that music you'd listened to before you bought an auto harp?
No,
or is this...
it went with the auto harp.
Interesting,
It
yeah.
came to me with the auto harp, yeah.
Cool.
Hazel Dickens is another influence. She wrote some songs, some really great songs. I think my greatest influence are those instructors that taught me in Seattle.
Right.
They taught me a lot in 1 week. It was a auto harp camp.
Oh,
Intense
okay.
auto
I was
harp
going to say, how
camp.
did you get 4 instructors in 1 week? Well, that makes sense
it
if it was a camp.
yeah. And then Rockland, who has all of his music background, really got me going on the auto harp.
Right.
Well, she left one Friday, said she'd be back at the end of the weekend, and took this auto harp. And I, like you, press the button and you strum it, I had no respect for it. Well, damn, she came back on Sunday and she was actually playing these tunes.
Melodies.
Yeah.
And I had just bought a mandola, which is a larger, it's like a violin, viola, mandolin, mandola. Mm. And I was goofing around with this thing, and I thought, okay, this is another avenue we can go.
Right.
I'm regularly a guitar player, but I figured, well, hell, this is great. We'll do auto harp and mandola, and we'll learn some of these old tunes. And it worked out so well, we decided to, let's take it on the road.
Yeah.
It worked out well. My influences, I've been doing this for so long. They change every decade.
Right.
I'm originally a Deadhead. I've always been a Grateful Dead fan. Yeah. Any great slide guitarist, Lowell George.
Right.
Sonny Landreth. Those guys, my ears perk up when I hear those guys. Yeah.
So what song are you going to play for us next, and what's it about?
I'm going to do an original I wrote about 30 years ago called Rose. And it's rather a sad tune about a sad fellow. When we were growing up, where I came from, if you didn't go on to further education after high school, you went logging.
Right.
And I remember one of our friends went logging, and you'd go in for 10 and you'd come out with 4.
Yeah.
And they put these 18-year-olds into a camp, all men, and then they give them a great big fat paycheck and send them out on the town.
Yeah.
And he used to spend all his money on this
40s.
one girl who, I don't know what her name was. And she was a hooker, and he fell in love with her. And damn, we tried to tell him, he wouldn't listen to us, and he'd spend all his money on this woman. And so that's the name of it. We call her Rose.
Right.
Yes.
That's great. Well, let's have a listen to that one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
cottonwoods are green. Stuck here in this makeshift camp in the high country freeze. Snow came down on Sunday, it snowed again last night. I can hold on to payday, there's a gal who'll make it alright. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Hard to love a woman whose time you got to buy. No, she'll never fancy you no matter how hard you try. Rosie, don't forsake me, don't you do me oh so cruel. This joker sing a refrain that stings about the money of a single fool. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Around this muddy camp, I hear it down in town. Say she ain't the steadiest gal, feet ain't on the ground. Should I walk and toss this ship for the waltz of Rosie's ways? Pockets empty and a heart to match, would you give me the time of day? Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose. Get to town, you give my love to Rose.
So where can people find you on social media or anywhere online or in person?
Or in person.
If they're looking to listen.
Well, we usually shut her down for the winter, you know, and do record new tunes or learn new tunes. You can find us social media. The only social media we're doing right now is Facebook.
Okay.
And it is the Ranters page. Ranters page, all one word.
Great. I'll put that link below so people can find it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And we're booking now for 2025. Wow, 2025.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the Art Society on Gabriola Island in April.
The last Friday in April on
Yeah.
Gabriola Island at the
Nice.
Ag Center.
couple of festivals. Harrison Festival of the Arts in July.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
There's a couple of the Firehouse in Logan Lake.
June.
June.
Is it June?
June.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
So
working on some other places in that area. The Thompson, Unity in Ashcroft, or the Packing House in Spence's
Right.
Bridge usually are.
So will all these be listed on your Facebook page? You normally
They
put them
will
there?
be.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you for coming in today and performing and being part of my studio and my series. It's been wonderful, and just thank you so much for coming.
well,
Thank you, John. It's been a slice.
Excellent. We'll see you next time.